Good evening, dear friends. Today we will touch upon some other instruments which are very necessary for post-psychology, for autodidactics. My name is Yuri Bessarab, and I will try to cover just practical aspects of these two instruments. I will start with the first one. About 20 years ago in the United States of America, there was an experiment. They put sensors on heads of participants of this experiment, about 20 people, 20 volunteers, and they asked them to imagine red cards. No, just not to imagine, but they just showed red cards. And they registered the signals through those sensors, signals from the brain, of our brain, on these red cards. Then they asked all these groups, all the group, to imagine those red cards. And to your surprise, they received the same signal. So the same areas of the brain reacted both to real cards and also to those cards that participants of the group imagined. Okay. Now we came very close to the instrument which Kurinsky called internal landscape. Just for you to understand better, just imagine your favorite landscape that you've seen from your childhood, from your maybe location where you're born, just your favorite one. And Kurinsky suggested some additional requirements for this internal landscape to be really a good instrument for us. First of all, first requirement, the sky should take 2/3 of this landscape, okay? And also there should be sun. And all of this should be sunny, lighted by sun, this our favorite landscape. Then you will, the experiment with red cards will allow us to realize that the effect will be from this landscape that we imagine will be the same as from the one that we would see in practical case, or when we would look at that landscape. What does it give to us? First of all, we now receive a new instrument where we will work with you, especially when we start learning foreign languages, which are used as a model in autodidactics of Kurinsky, just to show how we can work with all the rest of the things. So now we have some space in which we will work with you, and we can train any skills we want to have. If you sit in the office, if we are sitting in the office and it's very boring, we can imagine something and we can do something in this with this background, with this internal landscape. We can do something there. We can draw. We can put an easel there. We can draw. We can play music there. Whatever we want to do. So you see, now from that limitation that is put on us with just physical world with our job, now we become really free people, because we can do whatever we want. And if we don't have this, by the way, if we don't have this let's say order, if we don't have this internal landscape, we will have complete mess, or complete disorder, if you like this word. There will be just rubbish. There will be all these clips of the news, TVs, etc., etc., etc. So there will be lot of time, lot of life will be wasted just because this internal space or internal landscape is not used by us. So now we can do it. We know it. Ladies who are pregnant, it's very important. It's like a part of prophylactics. It's very important for your baby that you imagine this internal landscape, because first of all, it's beautiful, it's lighted, and it works, as you can now imagine. Those people who have PTSD, they can also use this as an instrument to recover from those, let's say, mental tragedies they witnessed. It's a very efficient instrument. As soon as we observe that we have something wrong with our head, or we can use it even for headache if you want, you will definitely find that it works. Now we move to the next instrument. So we're done with this internal landscape, and I will speak to you about a different one. If we look at our life every day, many people, let's say, not every day, but many people get up from the bed on their own side, right? Some people believe that if a red cat crosses the road before you, then the day will be a very, very bad day. The same with getting out of the bed on their own side. But many people believe that the day is spoiled, nothing will work, everything will be bad. I knew a person who read in some book, I don't know where he got it, but he read it that if he doesn't die by 42 years old, then he will live a little bit longer, but there is a high probability that he would die by 42. So just imagine that not only a day, but a whole life. A person can live the whole life in that condition of expecting something bad to happen. And usually when we expect something bad to happen, it will happen. That's almost definitely, almost like 99.99% it would happen. So now we will try to handle this. We realize this is a problem, and in autodidactics, post-psychological autodidactics, Kurinsky suggested to use such an instrument which he called psychological posture. Or it's not exactly mindset, because when we speak about mind, we usually mean brain or imagination. But when we say psychological, psychic, maybe mental posture, it's a little bit broader. It's like almost like we involve also our soul and also our feelings in this. And he suggested to use one of such psychological or psychic postures. Yeah, probably it's better to call mental postures. He suggested to use a posture of mushroom seeker. So just imagine that we come back to the office where we sit, and very often it's very boring. It happens, or not to everyone, but it happens to many people. And we are bored to death, and we want to do something. We want to change it. So the one recipe is just to start with imagining that internal landscape. And the other one, that is one instrument. But the other thing also is to imagine this psychic or mental posture. And it's better to start it from the very beginning of the day, in the early morning. So we imagine that we will search, or we will look, and we will try to find something very beautiful in that field that we've selected with you. Whether it's music, whether it's science, whether it's programming, whatever, it can be used anywhere. And we are trying to find those good things, those beautiful things, those things that we really want to do. So this is one more instrument. There was a composer, Robert Schumann. He wrote, so there is an album for young boys and girls, and he gives about 20 of those mental postures for the beginners in music, for them to know how to develop and which instruments to use. So this is probably one of the very good example where they are used. But in psychological autodidactics, you will find a lot of those mental postures. Definitely, this is one of them. And also there are dictionaries of quotations, and that's where we can find a lot of them. The same with some novels. Some novels, some poems, they can also serve that service, or experience of other people, or example of other people that also we later on we will use probably many of them in the end of this long, I hope long course on post-psychological autodidactics. Also, Kurinsky suggested to get rid of such a notion as mood, and instead of that, to introduce a new instrument or a new notion or a new definition, not definition exactly, but new notion of tuning, like violin. So with the help of these two instruments that I mentioned already, like internal landscape and mental posture, we can already tune ourselves to be more productive, more successful in our everyday activities. With this, I would like to finish this part of my videos, regular videos. If you like them, please put like, share them, and also you're welcome to ask questions. Bye bye.